Hello and welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news, the world is reacting to the news of Fidel Castro's death. The 90-year-old Cuban leader, both revered and reviled throughout his lifetime. Today, many Cuban Americans are hoping Castro's death will help the communist nation move towards democracy. ABC's Jim Ryan is in Miami with more.
Cheering and celebration in the streets of Miami's Little Havana, spilling over from night into day. Florida's Cuban-American community is marking the death of Fidel Castro with open joy. Many want to make sure that Castro's legacy isn't romanticized.
The end of a man who separated so many families throughout the years, a man who killed many, who imprisoned many individuals just for thinking differently.
The legacy is one of destruction of the economy. Most important, the destruction of the population. You see, morally, socially, and politically.
The reaction in Miami is a far cry from the scene 90 miles away in Cuba. There, flags are at half-staff. The streets relatively quiet as people went to work. State TV running in the shops. This man says Castro's death may or may not bring change, but that Cubans are ready for anything. World heads of state are reacting, some praising Cuba's longtime leader, like the presidents of Russia and China, while others issued more carefully worded statements. President Obama, whose administration is working to reestablish relations with the island nation, said, quote, "The Cuban people must know that they have a friend and partner in the United States." His successor, Donald Trump, had a more direct response, tweeting, "Fidel Castro is dead," and later called him a brutal dictator in his statement. Florida lawmakers hope the incoming administration keeps up pressure against the communist regime despite the death of its leader.
Today, it's a reminder of how inevitable it is that the Castro dictatorship will soon enough be a nightmare of the past.
Jim Ryan, ABC News, Miami.
In Havana, Castro's remains are being cremated and 9 days of mourning have begun. His brother Raul has vowed to step down as president when his term ends in 2018, handing the Communist Party over to younger leaders. And the news of Castro's death also hitting home for some on the Sun Coast with personal ties to Cuba. ABC 7's Kate Flexter joins us now with their thoughts and stories. Kate?
Adam, a lot of Cubans here on the Sun Coast lived there during Castro's regime. And for them, the news of his death reopened old wounds.
When Ray Rodriguez heard the news of Fidel Castro's death, it was with mixed emotions.
I felt it. I felt it like it was a relief.
For 12 years, Cuba was Rodriguez's home.
Cuba was one of the most beautiful islands in the Caribbean.
But in 1959, he says that all changed when communist leader Fidel Castro took over. And like thousands, Rodriguez and his mother fled to America. But they would have to give away everything, including the only pair of shoes he had.
I came here with nothing. Zero, nothing. I came here with no shoes. They took my leather shoes that my grandmother sent me.
For thousands of Cubans, Castro's death brought that same sense of relief. But while some are celebrating, others are mourning. Many of Castro's supporters pointing to his implementation of free health care and education, while some world leaders took to Twitter, calling Castro a great friend and an eternal companion. Cuban-American Jesus Garras agrees that Castro's death is nothing to celebrate, but like Rodriguez, he has a personal connection.
So this is actual personal history, which is hugely different than something you just read in a book.
His mother and father both immigrated to America during Castro's regime, and he grew up hearing those stories.
So all these years you've heard all these stories about things that have happened to your family, and you finally have closure in some regard.
As for Rodriguez, he now has not just one pair of shoes, but many. And for him, it's moving forward that brings him that same sense of closure.
Let's forgive and move on with the new Cuba, the free Cuba right now.
Both said they hope to see Cuba move on, but agree it will likely take years, if not decades, to return Cuba to what it once was. Adam?
All right, thank you very much, Kate. In other news, Hillary Clinton's campaign announcing it will join efforts to push for recounts in several key states. She's pursuing recounts in Pennsylvania and Michigan. Clinton's team saying they've investigated every theory presented and examined laws and practices pertaining to recounts, contests, and audits. Campaign counsel Mark Elias says the campaign had been quietly investigating accusations for some time while receiving hundreds of requests that it do so. The campaign will also join Green Party candidate Jill Stein, who has raised millions of dollars to have votes counted again in Wisconsin.
There were lots of hacks taking place around this election, hacks into voter databases, into party databases, into individual email accounts. And what we also know, unfortunately, is that the equipment that we use, much of it is not just open to hacks. It basically invites hacks and malfeasance, tampering, human error.
We've not received any complaints or concerns from Election Day that people thought that the equipment was not working.
The deadline to file the recount request in Pennsylvania is Monday. Michigan's deadline is Wednesday. So we started the week with a little bit of chilly weather, but it looks like we're getting back to some beach weather. Let's go over to Wendy Ross for our first look at local weather tonight. Wendy.
And Adam, did you know that a cold front came through today? You probably didn't notice it at all because we had plenty of sunshine around. A few more clouds, that was it. That was the only thing that indicated we had anything happening. And 70 degrees right now is indicative of the fact that it was not a strong cold front, certainly not a cold weather one. We are looking at lower dew points though, 61% humidity. The winds are coming in out of the north-northwest at around 6 miles per hour. And that funnel system is now through our region at this point. We're still being left with just partly cloudy skies right now. And for the most part, that's what we're going to see for the rest of the night. We're going to be clearing out as well. And our evening planner is showing that we'll get down into the mid-60s by 11 o'clock tonight. So we'll let you know how the rest of this weekend is shaping up. That's coming up in just a few minutes, Adam.
All right, thank you, Wendy. It's a big week for shopping, Black Friday, of course, and soon Cyber Monday. But one not often as advertised is Small Business Saturday. Today marks the Small Business Shopping Day. Shoppers are advised to go out of their way to buy merchandise from the smaller mom and pop places to help the local business community. Evelyn and Arthur is a small clothing boutique in downtown Sarasota. They have 10 locations across Florida.
Well, I think what's really great about small business awareness is it brings our local customers and our visitors to explore the local flavor, something different that you're going to find in the department stores and the malls. You know, they do what they do, but when you shop small business, that's where we set apart with customer service.
You can find Evelyn and Arthur in downtown Sarasota near the corner of Main Street and Lemon Avenue. Well, for one day only, Orban's Nursery opens to the public to come and view 100,000 blooming poinsettias before they are shipped out to garden centers. The nursery's owner says the poinsettias make up nearly 60 to 70% of the family-owned business, and every year they open their doors to you and your family to come in and see the flowers in bloom or even buy a few of the garden's holiday plants, an icon this time of year.
Started out just a drive-through, but now we have a sale and we get thousands of people out here, and it's, you know, just turned into an event that a lot of people like to come to every year, and they like to help us support the charitable group that we pick out.
This year, that charitable group will be Valor Service Dogs, a charity that gives dogs to soldiers with injuries or who have trouble adjusting to civilian life. Still to come here on ABC 7, a deadly shooting at a mall in Florida and why a parasite that eats animals alive is helping researchers learn more about a herd of deer.
Google GoWildHonda.com. Lease a CRV for $219 during Wild's final clearance. Just $219 and 0 down. Now at GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
Mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at 58 years old.
For me, it was heart-wrenching.
It takes a toll on everyone. I mean, it's a depressing disease to watch unfold before your eyes.
You just don't see the person's soul is like gone.
This disease just ravages a family.
It changes your life.
The magnitude of it is indescribable.
Now is the moment. If we work together, we can stop this epidemic.
Contact Bright Focus and learn more.
On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone, on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC 7, your Suncoast News on Fire TV. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC 7, your Suncoast news on the go. On the next Black Almanac.
In early July, Sarasota Memorial Healthcare Systems will open a primary health care facility in Newtown with multiple primary care doctors based at the practice. They will offer family medical services and provide care for un- and underinsured patients and those who cannot afford to pay.
Sunday morning at 7:30 on ABC 7.
How long have we been married, Dan?
For 76 years.
He was kind and generous to me before we married, and he was kind and generous to me all these years. We decided on Meals on Wheels because I was getting to the point where I couldn't do all the things that I had been able to do. We're the Spans. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Gold fever has once again swept the nation. And everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. Introducing the $5 million Gold Rush Doubler. We're doubling cash prizes for over $752 million in payouts. And 36 prizes from $1 million to $5 million. The Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
Google GoWildHonda.com. Lease a Civic for $179 during Wild's final clearance. Just $179 and 0 down. Now at GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda, Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
A 15-year-old boy was pushing his dirt bike home in Bradenton today when he tells deputies he was robbed by 5 older guys in a gray Nissan Altima. The robbery happening on the 6000 block of 1st Street East in Bradenton. The boy told Manatee County sheriffs he refused to give the bike up at first, but one of the guys pushed him, grabbed the bike, and rode off with it down 59th Avenue. The rest of the group following after. The motorcycle is described as a yellow and blue Suzuki. If you have any information about the location of the motorcycle or the suspects involved, you are asked to call the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. A domestic situation at a house in Northport Saturday requiring assistance from the police department. Northport PD containing an area around a home on Oxford Street earlier this afternoon. The police department say it was a domestic violence situation. One person has been arrested for domestic battery, among other charges. They add there is no danger to the surrounding community. One person is dead and another injured following a shooting at a Florida mall. Coral Springs police say the shooting happening at the Coral Square Mall in South Florida Saturday morning. They evacuated the shopping mall and put the building on lockdown. The city's fire rescue reports 2 people were shot and 1 was killed. They have not released the names of the victims. They also have not released any information on the shooter. The mall was shut down for about an hour and eventually reopened. A man and his friend were hunting ducks in the Florida Everglades when an alligator attacked. They were hunting at the Holy Land Wildlife Management Area in Broward County when the gator bit a 50-year-old man, the bite leaving a 10-inch gash on his thigh.
Loaded our stuff in the kayaks, got in the water. We were probably in hip depth of water, and he must have startled the alligator or something, and he bit him.
The victim was airlifted to Broward Health Medical Center and is expected to make a full recovery. A herd of deer in South Florida are dealing with a screwworm outbreak, but wildlife officials say the parasites could be helping biologists conclude some of their research. The 2-month-long outbreak among key deer is helping biologists develop better counts on the herd. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service biologists treating the last herd of this species in the Florida Keys believe there are 875 remaining members. The new count incorporates 11 of the 22 islands where the deer are known to live. Wildlife officials say it will help inform better strategies to manage screwworm outbreaks. Manatees are moving inland towards warmer waters as the temperatures drop across the state of Florida. Water along the Gulf recently dropping to 68 degrees, so the mammals are migrating from the coastal bays to the warmer creeks and rivers. Manatees' immune systems start to shut down when the water temperatures drop below 68 degrees. Scientists say the most recent aerial surveys show about 6,300 manatees in Florida waters.
Yeah, my immune system shuts down too. If it's 68 degrees, I can't get into that water. That is cold. That is cold. And there's that wonderful platform where you can see those manatees.
That's right. Yeah, up in Apollo Beach.
Yes, and they migrate there, and people just come from all over to see it.
And then there's a lot of them, hundreds that go there to those warm waters.
They're gentle giants, aren't they? They're just so sweet. Well, today we had a cold front. Did you notice? Did you notice
Not
that?
really. No.
No, most people didn't. And this is the reason why. We got up to a high of about 80 to 81 degrees for some locations around the region. So this wasn't a really cold front coming on through. It did produce a few more clouds, and we also saw the temperatures actually get up to the ones that will go down in the books. 83 degrees, our actual temperature for today after an overnight low of 64. And on the state back in 1992, we did get up to 88 degrees. So it was a far cry from the record, but also a far cry from the normal of 77 degrees is what it should be for this time of the year. 70 right now for us. So the cold front has gone through. The dew points have lowered, and the humidity also is on the lower side, with the winds coming in out of the north-northwest at around 6 miles per hour. Well, that cold front did leave behind some chilly temperatures over the northern part of the state. You can see we've got some 50s and some 40s right now over the extreme northern sections of Florida. You move into central Florida, and we're seeing the 60s and then 70s down to the south. And so this cold front is eventually going to bring and draw in some drier air for us, but not really cold temperatures. That's not expected. Right now across the region along the waterway, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 60s and 70s in Bradenton, Sarasota, and Venice. Also Boca Grande reporting 70 degrees, but you get a little bit farther inland, and we're already seeing those temperatures in the 60s right now. Overnight lows are expected to get into the 50s well inland, and some 50s and 60s a little bit closer to the coastline. We are going to be seeing mostly fair skies tonight as well, because that cold front has come through across central Florida, but it's going to continue to sink on down to the south. High pressure will build in behind it, and that's going to allow this drier air to filter on in. So the rain showers are not expected to come on through for us as that high pressure system continues to develop. So we're going to see mostly sunny skies for tomorrow. It'll be beautiful once again, and showers are only expected during the midweek period. So we've got about a 20 to 30% chance of rain beginning Wednesday and Thursday, with the next front coming next week. It starts across the western coastline of the United States, and then it's going to track across the nation and continue to make its way eastward. We're expecting to see this frontal system move on through the state of Florida over the weekend. So it's going to be a slow mover as it moves across the country, and is expected to be across the state of Florida by Friday and Saturday, and that will bring us a next shot of some cooler weather. In the meantime, for us, we're going to be looking at our temperatures back up into the 80s for Sunday and Monday, and it will be breezy on Monday with our best chance for rain this coming Wednesday and Thursday before the next cold front comes through. Adam?
Now, sports.
Well, after Thanksgiving, you've got Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but Saturday belongs to rivalry weekend in college football, and in a few minutes, two teams will battle for supremacy in the state of Florida. The rivalry in Florida, Florida versus Florida State, both teams having their fair share of ups and downs this season. Florida battling through injury to make their second straight appearance in an SEC title game, and the Seminoles out of contention for a conference championship, but the senior class with a rare opportunity to be the first on either side to go undefeated in the series. That game is at 8 o'clock right here on ABC 7 after our show, and don't change the channel. We'll have the full highlights right here after the game. Earlier today, the game, Ohio State taking on that team up north, the Wolverines, ranked number 3, the Buckeyes number 2, and it was a thriller in Columbus. We go straight to the fourth quarter in this one. Tyler Durbin tying the game with a field goal after missing his last two, sends it to overtime. And first possession of overtime, JT Barrett calling his own number, scoring from 7 yards out. The Buckeyes take a 7-point lead. Then it was Michigan's turn, facing a 4th and goal, game on the line. QB Wilton Spate clutch hits Amara Darboh to send this to double overtime. So following a Wolverine field goal and OSU converting on a 4th and 1, Curtis Samuel finds a crease and wins it for the Buckeyes, 27-30. Your final. Urban Meyer exasperated and undefeated in 5 games against Big Blue. Head coach Jim Harbaugh, 0-2. So let's check out some other scores and matchups from today. South Florida taking care of business against their rival, the University of Central Florida, 48-31. Quentin Flowers and Marlon Mack rushing for 2 touchdowns apiece. The Bulls score 30 or more points for their 16th straight game. In South Florida, University of Miami hosting Duke. The Hurricanes 7-4, Blue Devils 4-7, and the Canes end their season on a win, 40-21. Over to the Iron Bowl, number 1 Alabama hosting their rival Auburn, and Bama leads the all-time series 44-35 and wins big 30-12. And number 4 Clemson hosting the 6-5 South Carolina Gamecocks. It's the first Palmetto Bowl for former Florida head coach Will Muschamp, and that game just started a few minutes ago. So far, no score in that one. The University of Texas officially announcing the firing of head football coach Charlie Strong today. Strong was 16-21 during his 3 seasons in Austin, and the university won't go far looking for his replacement. Hours after firing Strong, the school announcing Houston head coach Tom Herman would be taking his place. Herman, a national champion as offensive coordinator for Ohio State in 2014, has led the Cougars to winning seasons in each of his 2 years. He was a top target along with Jimbo Fisher for the LSU vacancy, which has also been filled today. Interim head coach Ed Orgeron will continue to lead this program after taking over for Les Miles 2 months ago. Coach O winning 5 of the team's remaining 7 games during that stretch. Police in Texas announcing today that they have found the body of Marcus McGee, the missing nephew of a former NBA player. McGee, the 9-year-old autistic nephew of Marcus Camby, went missing during the family's Thanksgiving celebration on Camby's property. McGee was found in a lake on Camby's Houston area property this morning. Officials say there appears to be no signs of foul play. McGee, who was nonverbal due to his disability, was visiting Texas from Connecticut for the holiday. More to come here on ABC 7. Stay with us.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local boys and girls clubs. Great futures start here.
You're going to need me. You're going to need us. All of us. You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food. You're going to need our determination, our compassion. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
Ever wonder what it feels like to cross home plate in front of a cheering crowd at a Major League ballpark? Hi, I'm Bob Harrigan, and now you can find out when you join Save Our Seabirds, the Baltimore Orioles, and ABC 7 for Run for the Birds. December 4th at Ed Smith Stadium, the 5K 1-mile fun run will end at home plate and be followed by a festival with live music, food, and fun. Proceeds benefit Save Our Seabirds, whose mission is to rescue and rehabilitate sick and injured birds. Register today at raceroster.com.
Download ABC7's free all-new news app at your app store today.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
The Powerball jackpot is above $400 million, and there could be a winner tonight. No one matched the winning numbers during the last drawing on Wednesday night. The odds of a $2 ticket hitting the jackpot are now 292 million to 1. The prize is on the brink of becoming one of the largest jackpots in U.S. history if it keeps rolling with no lucky numbers. A record-setting $1.6 billion was reached back in January. Well, the Christmas classics are returning to the small screen. Some family favorites will be airing on ABC starting this weekend. It all starts on Monday with the premiere of CMA Country Christmas, featuring some of the biggest stars in country music. Charlie Brown Christmas will air for the first time this season at 8 p.m. on Thursday. And ABC's hit show, The Great Christmas Light Fight, will return every Monday starting December 5th. You can see a full list of this month's holiday programs on our website, mysuncoast.com. And finally tonight, deputies receive bad calls every day, but one Thanksgiving Day call this year was something officials never expected. A 5-year-old boy in Walton County, Florida, made a 911 call while his mother was making Thanksgiving dinner. The little boy, Billy, was calling to extend a dinner invitation to law enforcement. The deputy thanked Billy for the kind invitation, but explained that he should only use 911 for emergencies and gave him a sheriff's badge as a reminder.
Oh, how sweet. How sweet. And they stayed and took a picture with him.
That's very nice.
How wonderful.
Very nice. I don't blame him. She must put together a good Thanksgiving dinner.
I'm sure. Come on down. That sounds great. That sounds great.
All right, well, we'll catch you guys after the game. Have a good night.
Hurricane season is here, and Suncoast weather can go from this to this in seconds. So when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7.
We're armed with the most advanced weather technology so that we can bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
Plus, we focus on the Suncoast and track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7. We're here for you.